Today I want to walk you through how to use a piece of software called iPEVO Annotator. It is a companion piece of software that goes with the iPEVO Ziggy cams that we have in use in two of our buildings. However, you don't have to have that camera or any camera to use the annotation software. So the first step will be to get that installed on your computer, and that's something that our technology department can help you with, or I can help you with. And the next step is to learn how to use it. So my screen will look a little bit different from yours because I'm on Windows 11, but you are going to open up your screen and look for your apps. And it actually will be in the A's because even though it's iPEVO Annotator, it is listed as just Annotator as the software name. So we're going to launch that. When it opens, it may open in this mode or it may actually be fully collapsed like this. And you can pick it up and drag it and kind of put it wherever you want it and then open it up. There are three different modes. There's annotation mode, whiteboard mode, and dual whiteboard mode. So let's start up here in annotation. And I'm going to move that up here so we can see all of the different tools that are in here. And I just wanted to show you how these work. So in annotation mode, I have two primary pens and I can choose two different colors. Like maybe I want this one to be blue and I want this one to be green. I can also choose the thickness of the line and I can choose whether I want it to be disappearing or not. So let me explain to you what that might be helpful for. If I'm working in a classroom with some students and I want them to kind of pay attention to something or know where something's located, and I'm going to draw a big circle around it, but I really don't want that circle to like hang around, I can change it to disappearing ink. And I can do that, keep one pen disappearing and one regular, or I can turn it on and off. So I'm going to make this red and I'm going to make sure this is disappearing and I'm just going to leave 3 seconds. I could do 6, 10, or 20. And then fountain pen really is not all that different from regular pen. Fountain pen gives it kind of like thinner and thicker parts of the line, almost like you were writing with an old-fashioned fountain pen. But without that checked, it really isn't a whole lot different. So we're just going to focus on this one. So disappearing ink, if I tell my students, hey, I need you to look in the upper left-hand corner, I can circle up there. And then as soon as I get done circling, you'll notice it starts to fade away. And in 3 seconds, it's completely gone. And then I can turn that right back off and I can maybe go to a different pen, draw a circle around something, and this one is not disappearing. So notice even as I go back to mouse here, even as I go from screen to screen, that little green circle hangs around. Now, in addition to my two pens, I also have some other tools down here. I want to start with talking about the trash can all the way at the bottom because that's actually a very helpful and frequently used icon, and that is to just get rid of all of the annotation that's currently on the screen. So I want a fresh start because I'm getting ready to start another screen, so I hit the trash can, everything disappears. Now, if I just need to erase part of a screen, I do have an eraser tool on here, and I can choose the thickness, make it really big or really small. And like if I've done a drawing and I need to get really like tight in there, I can make it very, very thin and then go in and erase. But if I just want to get this big item off here, I can slide that over and make it really nice and big. All right, so that is my eraser tool. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the shapes tool. On the shapes tool, I have some empty shapes and I also have some solid shapes. And I also have the line function. So I'm going to pick a color. I'll just make it blue. I'm going to come over here. Also notice as I go back and forth between drawing and wanting to use my mouse, I use this little tool right here, which is the cursor tool. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go back to my shape here. And I'm going to grab this line. I'm going to change it to red. And I'm going to notice when I click, it kind of drops down an anchor point, and then I can draw from any direction, depending on where I want to go. So I can draw a line. I can talk about, there we go, the diameter of this circle. I can talk about the radius of this circle. Another thing I can do is I can draw a circle. So I'm going to see if I can get that to be just about the same. There we go. I can resize from the corner or from the sides. Notice if I go from the corner, it makes it height width proportionate. It stays the same. If I go from the top, bottom, left, or right, it allows me to create an oval or back to a circle. All right. Same thing with the solid shapes. There's one interesting thing I wanted to show you about the triangle shape. When you draw a triangle, notice it tells you those interior angles, and it also gives you the current measurement for the sides of the triangle. So that's kind of cool if I just wanted to demo what's an obtuse triangle, what's an acute triangle, what that looks like. All right, again, I'm going to get my cursor, trash can to get rid of all that. And I want to talk to you about one more thing, and that is the compass. So this is you'll notice I can grab with this 4-way move arrow to move it around. I have an arrow here that allows me to bring this out as big as I want. So if I want to put that there and put this here, then I can grab my pencil and zip around there and just show how to draw that circle. To turn that off, just click off of it to another tool. All right, so let me go to the next one. This is the stamp tool. And the stamp tool allows me to, maybe I have a copy of student work up here and we're all looking at it as a class. And I want to say, oh, they did such a great job here. And well, this one's not quite right. Or love what they did here. And if you want to be kind of extra, you can go into Bitmoji or really anything and save a picture, and you can add those pictures as stamps. You can put your own custom pictures in here. So I put my Bitmoji of me with the check mark so that as I'm checking student work, I can put myself in there. All right, so again, we're going to hit the trash can, get rid of those. And that's the stamp tool. And we already talked about the eraser and the cursor tool. Let's go to the toolbox. Here I have a ruler tool, so I could line that up. And get back to my cursor here, there we go. Using this arrow in the lower right hand corner, I can change the angle of it. I can change the length of it. So I'm going to just put it right there. And I love the fact that it's kind of see-through, so you can actually put it like right on top of something to say, well, how wide is this circle? Oh, it's 3 inches. And then if I want to get rid of it, just click on the X. All right, I also have a protractor. Can put that angle there, 58 degrees. Go to my red pen, maybe make it black. And I'm going to click on this. There we go. And oops. I'm going to draw my way. Try to draw my way down there. There we go. I think I got it. Not perfect. Not perfect, but I can show there that that interior angle would be about 58 degrees. So if I wanted to click on this, go to text, I can put 58 degrees. All right. Back down to this. This is kind of a cool tool. It allows you to kind of spotlight on your screen what you want them to look at, and you can make it bigger. Like I just want you to look over here, and then I want you to look at that, and then I want you to look over here. You can also, besides resizing it, make it a different shape. So maybe I want to make it square, and I want to put it up here and down here. The other thing you can do is you can make it, so this is slightly transparent, meaning you can kind of see what's behind it, but by clicking on this, it hides everything around it. And so now as I move my mouse around, you can only see what I want you to see on my screen. And I can close that out by clicking the X. All right. I'm going to get rid of my tools there. All right, so the last thing is if I wanted to take a screen snipping, I could. We already have a screen snipper built into Windows, so I'm not sure if you would need that, but that's what that tool would do. All right, so now on to Whiteboard. So Whiteboard basically has all these same tools, but now you have a clean whiteboard to work on. And you'll notice here that we have page 1 of 1. So I can go in here and I can draw things. So maybe I put a coordinate plane on there, and I'm doing a really bad job. Really bad job. Very uneven. I'm sure I would do a much better job if I were doing this in front of my kids. All right. So I wanted to talk about plotting a point and a point, and then I want to grab my green and draw my line through there. And there we go. And then I want to go and put my stamp on there, and we talk about it. And I want to add my laughing face there. There we go. So I wanted to show you that there's a couple things you can do. One, with this little hand tool, you can pick up items. Oh, you can pick up your screen and move items to the left or the right. You'll notice that you have kind of this preview panel here. So if you want to pick up this whole thing and move it over to where you have some more white space here to draw, and you can. And you'll notice it kind of gives you a little map down here where you are on the giant whiteboard. So you can draw some more stuff here, draw some more stuff here. And then you can also add a new board and choose the background color. So maybe I've got another one and I want to actually use graph paper. Very helpful. If I want to, and you'll notice I'm on 3 of 3 here. All right. Yes, I want to delete this one. And it says 2 of 2. Actually, I don't need this one. I'm going to delete that one. Yes. All right. Now I can toggle back and forth, come back in here, do some work, pop back over here. So it almost gives me 2 whiteboards that I can work on. Like one is my actual content in my classroom, and the other is just this plain whiteboard where I can maybe, if somebody has a question, I need to pause to like pop over and explain it without messing up what I've got on my whiteboard or on my current screen. I can do it on the whiteboard. So that's what that is. Now, last one I want to show you is the dual whiteboard. So this is where I could use one pen color over here, one pen color over here, and maybe I want to show that 27 times 49 is the same thing as 49 times 27. Now, if I were doing this for real, I would probably use we do have touchscreen laptops, so I'd probably use my fingertip instead of my mouse like I'm trying to do. Or I could even buy a cheap stylus that just, gives me a nice, much nicer touch and line on my drawing surface. So again, I can toggle that back off, and when I come back, that information is still there. So that is iPEVO's annotation tool called Annotator. And again, if it's something that interests you, I'd be happy to come spend some time with you one-on-one in your classroom, and we can just play around a little bit and get to know it a little bit better.